In year 2 of the Jared Parker era, can the Troy Trojans get back to their championship ways? It's Locked on Sunbelt.
You are Locked on Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked on Sunbelt, your teams every day. We continue to go over the guys who we talked to and feature back from the Sunbelt Media Days last week in New Orleans. Time to talk Troy Trojans. Jared Parker, quarterback Goose Crowder, and defensive back Devin Lafayette. Jared Parker in his second year obviously struggled to begin last year. They lost Goose Crowder very early on to concussion, and he had to step away from the game. And he is healthy this year. That is the good news. Let's see if he can stay that way. And Devin Lafayette leading the defense. And they obviously have to get a second quarterback ready to go as well. All right, so they did learn how to win. Can they compete in what is a very difficult part of the Sun Belt West? We first speak with the head coach. He is in year 2 at the helm of the Troy Trojans. He is Jared Parker, and he is Locked on Sunbelt.
Back at Sunbelt Media Days. Dave Schultz, Locked on Sunbelt, your teams every day. We're here with the head coach of the Troy Trojans, Jared Parker. It's year 2. What did you learn in year 1?
Well, I learned this job's hard. That's what we've learned. We learned a lot about myself selfishly and what I can do better and how I need to lead. And then a lot of the things about me that certainly hopefully make you built for this job. And then I learned a lot about Troy, the community of Troy, how supportive they would be in a tough start. And probably more important than anything, I learned a lot about our people in that building, our staff, and our players represented well today by 2 of them, but all our players and the guys that stayed and our staff that stayed. Learned a lot about the value of who they are, and certainly gives you a lot of confidence to sleep and be more comfortable about sleeping in year 2.
Did you learn what you can't do?
Of course. A lot of what you can't do, or maybe some different ways that you certainly wouldn't go back and touch. That list would be too long to mention, but I just think there's certain things that you must do, and the first one being that you have to fix things with urgency and do so before the problem sometimes is even there. I think you have to see out in front and make sure you're prepared to get things fixed before another team sees your problems, or maybe something that you wouldn't see. So just urgency, maintaining a standard, understanding that winning football games is about how well you practice and prepare and how hard you do so. I think we learned that the hard way, and we won't do that in year 2.
All right, so then where do you think your strengths are, and where do you think you maybe need some help?
I think our strengths lie in the retention of staff and player just as a whole. You look at us, we lost one on-field coach. We retained much of our roster, and many that guys wanted to choose to be at Troy. So I think the strength and power is in the numbers. I think that a back end at corner and safety, that we needed help on defense. We've acquired and or developed our younger players at corner and safety to put us in a position to play the ball better in the back end of our secondary. The strength lies in the middle of our defense as you move down, where we have 8 players, 9 players that we feel confident about playing as defense and special teams players. But you've got 3 returning starters at the linebacker level with Jamal Williams, Jordan Stringer, and Devin Lafayette. And our defensive line is somewhat recognizable, and there's a couple names that we've acquired throughout our spring season that I think people will know who they are by the end of our season. So our strength lies in our defensive names that we already know, and then some that our fans don't, that they will. And then offensively, a guy named Goose Crowder is coming back healthy at quarterback, and we have probably a 5-man tight end team that can play and do many things with. And we have 3 returning offensive linemen. So that part to me gives you reasons to know why. And I think we have a very gifted wide receiver room that, again, just needs to produce with that.
What can I do to get you to be the first coach in football history to go 5 wide with tight ends?
You know what? Don't put it past us.
Yes.
There's some people that would want to do that in our building. Those guys are talented enough with Ethan Connor leading it to be able to spread out, stand up, and be a wideout for sure.
All right, so you're talking about the process and practicing hard, because last year, while Troy was struggling, people say you want to see, the light at the end of the tunnel. We didn't see the tunnel at one point in time. And then, Arkansas State, we saw the tunnel, right? And then we came out the other side of it and we saw the light. How did you see the guys react when we started seeing the process starting to work, getting closer to wins, and then seeing wins?
Yeah, well, I think there's no accident that you play. This league is great week in, week out, right? So why is it that in the second half of the Ark State game, we almost finish a game and win on the road? We then come back home for homecoming and play our best game of football and win. The following week, we go on the road to Georgia Southern and win. There is a lot to be said about believing you can, and our team found out how to win together. That got contagious in the right way, and we started to play our best brand of football. So there's belief now, and you do at some point have to win to find affirmation in the work you've put in. That's the facts, and I think our guys did that. So now we got to keep that driving alive so we get the taste way sooner.
So despite maybe the wrong decision at the Arkansas State football game at the end of the game, maybe, the coach's decision or not, we won't go over that. But still, was there some satisfaction? I know the game didn't turn out that way, but still there must have been the light went on in your head and in the player's head. We may have this. If the light went on, like you said, in the second half, like, see, we're this close. Because Arkansas State's pretty good, and you guys were right there.
Yeah, I think nice little pub in there on the decision to go win it. But I'll say that I think for them, I told them after the game, you all were there. Like, it was certainly like, hey, we're not happy about losing a football game, but we found our football team. How about we keep that and improve that, and let's see what happens these last 4 games, and it worked.
Yeah. And then, so when you beat Georgia Southern, is that thrilling, or did it turn to relief, or how does that work as a coach? Because you guys always claim that, you hate losing more than you like winning, but somewhere along the way, the relief portion of it comes because you needed a win, and you needed a win now.
Yeah. To be fair, there was some relief there. I would give an honest answer to that, I think. And really, I don't want to have success for myself or for a contract and money. I want to have success to see the joy of success on our players' faces,
well, as a
our
head coach,
staff.
you're responsible for a lot of people.
I want to see the joy on our wives, our kids, our players, our staff. That's what it's all about. It's way more important and way more fulfilling. So that's why you want to win so damn bad. And so I think for us, it's just how do you what stinks is, and Scotty Scheffler got some, I think just keeping up with it, mostly positive, but some negative in his interview that he went on for 5 minutes about, and I kept up with it. Like, it's very fleeting. You don't get to enjoy it very long. It goes fast when you win, but you have to enjoy them. If your staff and players don't feel what it feels like to win and feel good about it when they do, why would they want to go back the next week and go to work? I think you have to enjoy the wins, but they don't last long enough. They just don't, because it's then the next day you've got to go back to work in this grind if you want to win championships, where you forget the win, fix the things with urgency, even if you won, to repeat it.
Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with the head coach of the Troy Trojans, Jared Parker. We talk about his quarterback coming back, Goose Crowder, and trying to keep him healthy for the 2025 season, right after I tell you about 5-Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off of it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5energy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. The offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5-hour energy shots today. All right, Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. Let's continue our conversation with the head coach of the Troy Trojans, Jared Parker, talking about not only his starting quarterback, Goose Crowder, but making sure he's got a backup ready to go in 2025.
Talking to Jared Parker, head coach of the Troy Trojans on Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. All right, talk to us about Goose Crowder and how do we keep him healthy this year?
Well, he's done everything he can do in an offseason for that part. We've got to keep him healthy in how we scheme. We got to keep him healthy in how we protect him. And he's got to take ownership in how he can protect himself, but also be tough. You got to play the game. He's going to get hit. He can be smart, wiser, and all these things, and he will. But he's done everything he can from the way he's trained his upper body and neck. He's in his way he's prepared for defenses and what he'll do in a weekly game plan to make sure he knows what defenses will do so he can do those things. And more importantly, he's got to go rip it and play. And I think that's what you'll get out of him as we step into this year 2 together.
And then at the same time, what you learn, you got to have the second guy ready. I mean, you got to have. We saw a couple of times, a couple of years ago, guys who won the job out of camp didn't make it through the first game, and both those guys, next guy up, had tremendous years in Jordan McLeod and Joy Aguilar. So, and you got to have the next guy ready to go. It could be in game 1.
Amen. And that's every position.
That is it.
It is.
One position has a little bit more meaning.
Absolutely, it does. And we absolutely. I don't think you can use yourself a crutch to say, well, every guy, and then he's just as responsible as making sure our number 2 and 3 quarterbacks are prepared. So I'm anxious to see that part of us and see how we prepare and what we do, both in our 2, 3, and 4 positions to get ourselves ready to go, so everybody can manage a game plan.
All right, tell us about Devin Lafayette.
Well, we love him. You know, again, why is he here? He's a productive football player, but he's a leader, you know, and has become even a better leader in his vocal approach to how he leads, but also leading by example. And I think he represents what Troy is. You know, we're tough, we're hard-nosed, we like to play with an edge, and we better play with an edge on defense. He is around the football. You know, he's got a great instincts to be around the football, and then he's also physical enough to want to tackle it too. I think him being able to play in space but also play with physicality is his key attributes, and he's a great young man that has stayed here now in his second year and will really be a pillar of what this defense will be in year 2.
Talking to Jared Parker, Troy Trojans, Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. All right, so you became a head coach while all this NIL portal stuff is going on. You got another portal to deal with. Good luck. Whereas, you know, Tim Beck was waiting his whole life getting a head coaching job, and boom, that's when it hit. Butch Jones was doing it, and then it shifted. Is that an advantage for you that everyone's playing without in that, and you started it after it already hit? What's it sense being a head coach while all of this is in the middle going on?
Well, it's been it's been a mess that you've got to learn how to deal with. What does that mean each year? Because it's changed so much in the time from me getting here last January till a year and a half. Right. Every rule, every way we do it, what we're doing with rev share, all of it's changed. I think
on a weekly basis.
Yeah. I mean, it's so what maybe we know is you got to just measure and being able to handle change. I think for me, I think the piece that's the key to me, in my opinion, is how do you manage the financial stuff and all those things and not have transactional relationships with your players. But still have them know that I'm committed to making sure we're doing everything we can to help them in a world where they have earned the right to be able to make money and do these things. So me not having transactional relationships with them and also having a coach-player relationship I think it's key to being able to blend both worlds.
So you see players like that. We saw that last year. You don't even want to talk about it on a podcast because you don't want to see it come to existence, right? We saw that last year. Fluff both well with South Alabama, Mott Hardy, with Monroe, right? You see them having spectacular years, and they're going to get paid because you want them to get paid, right? And yet you don't want them to leave the situation. How do you get them to concentrate on what they're doing? Because, eventually they're going to end up in good situations.
Yep.
At least you hope so.
Right. Have open discussions with it. I think being real about it and having real open discussions about where we are, what we can do, and what that means for them, their future in college football or moving forward to NFL and all those things. You have open dialogue. And if the dialogue is open and honest, I'm the first one to sit down with them and do that. And I've done that with our players. When it isn't open and honest, then that's going to be handled differently. And I think that that's the way that you have to model this as a coach, a dad, a husband, all those things, so they understand that's how you're supposed to function in families. And I think we should stand for that. And I think it's a good dialogue if it's treated with such honesty and truth. And I think our guys appreciate that.
All right, he's Jared Parker. He's the head coach of the Troy Trojans. Let's see if the most important thing that he learned last year, do you know which way to go to the locker room coming off a Trojan walk?
You go straight off the bus, head to the circle, and we're going right, fellas? That's how we get to the stadium.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
He's Jared Parker. He is head coach of the Troy Trojans, and he's locked on Sunbelt. Best of luck this year, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk to the Troy players, quarterback Goose Crowder and defensive back Devin Lafayette right after I thank everybody. We are almost at 2,400 and I believe 20 subscribers. We'll continue to climb after the weekend. I took the weekend off. Needed the time off. Again, we'll have 13 full previews. We didn't get Georgia State. We'll have to see if we can get them sometime during the week. Maybe we can get them today or tomorrow. I have off. We'll see if Del McGee is available. But we're going to have for the next 2 weeks plenty of content, plus all the clips from the players and the coaches that I can clip during the next few weeks as well, all through the season to begin with, right? We don't have to just use them for the next couple of weeks. So we will continue to use that from the media days. And thank you so much for the continued support. We are basically at a record month already for audio downloads. Don't forget that. The Apple Podcasts and Spotify, it is a big, big help. Really do appreciate all the support. People have been reaching out. I know it does feel like it is, the Sunbelt West podcast, but they were up first. I guess I could have gone back and forth, but just getting the Sunbelt West out of the way. And then once that's done, we'll shift to the Sunbelt East. So we'll do the Sunbelt West first and then the Sunbelt East. So I do appreciate all of the support. Let's get back to it. Let's talk with Goose Crowder and Devin Lafayette. Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. Up first, Goose Crowder. We make sure that he's healthy, and we ask him where he got his nickname. No surprise, actually. And we talked to Devin Lafayette about leading the Troy Trojans defense.
Hello, I'm Jared Parker, head football coach of Troy Trojans, and you're listening to Locked on Sunbelt, Dave Schultz.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked on Sunbelt, your teams every day. We're here with the guys from the Troy Trojans, quarterback Goose Crowder and Devin Lafayette. Goose, let's talk about it. You were injured last year really early in the season. What was the injury, and how healthy are you?
Yes, sir. So I sustained multiple concussions, kind of close back in close weeks. Just kind of sat down with the medical team, kind of did some stuff, MRI and looks at my brain and stuff like that, and kind of came to the conclusion that the best thing for my health moving forward and post-life football would be to kind of forego the rest of the year. It was a tough decision, but, I feel healthy and ready to attack the season this year.
Is there anything you can do to prevent concussions? Do they make a special helmet? I mean, there's really nothing outside of not getting hit.
Yeah, I think that would help for sure, going down, knowing the party's over and that kind of thing. But as far as like a special helmet, I'm not sure. I'll wear whatever they tell me to put on and go out there and play.
I mean, there's a whole thing with Tua, right? They're trying to teach him how to. Did they teach you how to, go down and roll or something?
For sure.
I mean, you're going to get hit by the blind side somewhere along the way. Someone's going to come free, right? Because someone beat the offensive line. I mean, it's going to happen, right?
Absolutely. So I think that was a big emphasis as far as like going on spring football was to just kind of know when the party's over, know when to get out of bounds, know when to go down. But as Coach Parker said, still play. It is still football, and at the end of the day, you're going to take hits, but just learning how to be smart and deal with those is the most important.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought you got hurt diving for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was an interesting kind of sequence of plays. I think we kind of came to the conclusion that when we were playing Memphis, I'd sustained the hit that gave me the concussion earlier in the drive.
Oh, and you kept on playing.
Yeah, and then the hit diving for the touchdown definitely didn't help anything.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
And do we remember the drive?
I mean, very faintly, it's very foggy memory. So, but I don't know. You kind of want to be tough and be out there for your team, and play through a lot of injuries. I'm sure. I mean, obviously,
And none of the offensive lineman says, "Hey, coach, he's calling pass plays, but he's running the football."
I don't think any of that happened, but I think some guys kind of mentioned it to me. But like you said, you want to play for your guys, and if you're willing and able to go, then I'm going to go and stuff like that.
At the same time, the guys got to be able to look out for you too.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you're not trying
you
to
got
be
one left eye going that way and one right eye going that way.
Sure.
Right, they got to be looking out for the quarterback. All right, so we didn't get to see a whole lot of Goose Crowder. What do you bring to the game? Because everybody's rooting for a guy named Goose.
That's what they say. No, I think I'm above average passer. I created like a great poise and just quiet confidence in the locker room and lead by example. And then I think I can be dynamic with my legs when I have to, but I think my main strength is kind of my arm and how I read a defense and just taking it one play at a time.
And where does the nickname come from?
So I love the movie Top Gun growing up.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a cliche.
I know. Goose was my favorite character. And my brother started calling me it, and it's stuck ever since.
The problem is the line, what everybody says is, "Talk to me, Goose." He's already dead. We can't be saying "talk to me, Goose" because he's gone.
He's got a bad character to pick.
Yeah, that's not.
Maybe I should have picked Maverick or Rooster.
He's the one who makes it.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do we like about this team offensively heading into 2025?
Yes, sir. Well, first off, I love my big guys up front. They make it really easy on me. I love, going out there and seeing them work in the off season. I also love the receiver room, tight end room. I mean, I love all the guys on offense. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of them and the work that we've put in this off season together, and talking and growing and meeting together, and just creating like a strong relationship and bond between everybody. And are just really excited to take the field with them this fall.
What can I get you to do to get to Coach Parker to go 5 wide?
5 wide tight ends.
5 wide tight ends. First in history.
I don't know.
They wouldn't know what hit him.
No.
And you'd go to the wide guy out wide because what corner is covering the tight end?
You're right. Yeah. No, it's a great point. I think it's something.
Or the guy in the slot.
Something to think about for sure.
No slot corner is going to be able to tackle the tight end.
I mean, it's a great point. It's a valid point. We'll have to look at it and probably scheme it up some more.
I am the tight end
believer.
Well, it's not the not advisor. What is the coach?
Adversary.
Not advocate. What are the coaches called? They can't be on the field.
Analyst.
Analyst. Yes, tight end analyst. Yes, that's me. I'm that guy. For the tight end only. All right, because I'd be up there every single time. Throw it to the tight end. We've thrown it to the tight end 10 straight times. It's 10 straight completions. Why change it? Well, they know it's coming. They ain't stopping it. All right. Let's talk to Devin Lafayette, cornerback. Coach Parker said you came back. Why did you come back?
I came back because of the relationships I have with the staffs and my players. I'm big on like relationships. So like when I came in last year and the guys took me in and just took care of me from then, it's like, why would I want to leave a group of men that got the utmost respect for me and a good staff that loves all of their players? So,
did you have a chance to go somewhere else and decided to come back?
I ain't gonna get too much into that. I'm not
asking where. I just want to know. Obviously, he said you had to.
Yeah.
It sounded like.
Yeah, I stayed.
So that's a big decision for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do we like about the team defensively?
The growth that we made from last year to this year. Our DC's feeling comfortable, a lot more comfortable with the guys we got because we got so many returning guys, so we're able to mix up a lot of stuff, get a little creative with the defense. I mean, the expectation for us is just to go fly around and hit guys in their face. So
what did we like last year? Because again, and I'm a reasons versus an excuse guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, not winning because we're playing with a third string quarterback. All right, that's not an excuse. That's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so when Troy is struggling, that's the reason. And then all of a sudden, there's no tunnel, all right, getting blown out. And all of a sudden, we're seeing a tunnel because we almost beat Arkansas State.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you come away with the win against Georgia Southern. What was that process like? And I mean, practice must have just been fun. Even though I know you wanted to be Arkansas State. I know I give Coach a hard time because maybe we just kick the field goal and go from there. But it still must have been fun coming out to practice, like just the hunger, like, oh my God, guys, we didn't get our butts kicked. We almost won that football game. Let's go out and win this one, and you guys did.
Yeah, I remember going to meetings. We have a day called Tuesday, Bloody Tuesday.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I ain't surviving Bloody Tuesday.
it's the hardest practice, and you know, the big emphasis after that was the way we practiced that week is kind of what got us in that position we was in. So, if we practice hard each week, that's the outcome.
All right. So what are the goals this year? No one's thinking much of Troy. Yes, everyone's got. I mean, actually, Jalen Rayner's really the only quarterback coming back. Gio Lopez is gone. I would have had South Alabama highly, but he's gone. Everyone likes Walker Howard. He was highly recruited out of high school, but he's got Joe Burrow going in, and he hasn't played football in 3 years. Right? We don't even know what he can do. So what can Troy do? Can Troy be a surprise this year in the West?
I think what you're going to see from Troy is a complete different team than last year. We got the mindset, we got the edge, and we got the grit that we need. So I think you'll see a huge difference from last year to this year.
All right. He is Goose Crowder. He's Devin Lafayette. They're the Troy Trojans, and they are locked on Sunbelt. Best of luck this season. Thanks for hopping on the podcast, guys.